unnatural selection. Charles Darwin, 1875. And with that in mind, let me ask you this. What would it be like for you if every time you fell asleep, you ran the risk of never waking up again? And what would it be like for you if every time you tried to eat, your teeth were so misaligned and your lower jaw so weak, you weren't actually able to chew most of your food, but had to swallow it whole? And what would it be like for you if just taking a drink put you at risk for pneumonia? And what would it be like for you if just sitting there in your seat, you broke out in a sweat and were unable to catch your breath? Well, for dogs like Bubba, this is reality. From the moment he was born until the moment he died, he knew no other life than that which I just laid out for you. Because according to the American College of Veterinary Surgeons in 2011, every single symptom I just described for you is common among dogs like Bubba. Because Bubba has a flat face. Because Bubba is brachycephalic. Because Bubba is man-made. And so is Frankie here. Both of these dogs are what's called brachycephalic, which according to the Merriam-Webster Dictionary 2007 comes from the Greek and simply means short head and is a general term used for any dog with the flat face where the nose is pushed backwards into the skull. I've worked with both Frankie and Bubba for 3 years of my life while I managed a doggy daycare here in Los Angeles. And what's further is I have spent more than 200 hours volunteering at different veterinary clinics, having the opportunity to care for both the daily and medical needs of every single brachycephalic breed of dog I'm going to talk to you about today. So I have witnessed firsthand both the human and canine suffering that goes along with these dogs. But this isn't just something that's important for me, a dog lover, to care about. This is something that affects every single one of you in this audience. According to the American Veterinary Medical Association in 2010, dogs are the most popular pet in America. And what's further, also in 2010, the Humane Society of the United States reported that there are 77.5 million dogs living in this country, meaning 39% of American households own at least one dog. So chances are good that in your lifetime, or the lifetime of someone you know, you will own a dog, and at that time, you're going to be faced with a choice of breed. These are the AKC, American Kennel Club, registration statistics for 2010 out of more than 165 breeds of dogs. As you can see, every one of these brachycephalic breeds is extremely popular, meaning this is something that afflicts literally millions of dogs in this country. So I hope that by the end of my talk today, all of you in the audience will understand what is the problem with brachycephalic breeds of dogs, why this has been caused by a human quest for a particular beauty ideal, and most importantly, what all of you can do to say, I am not going to buy these breeds of dogs. I am not going to support the breeding. I'm going to discourage others from buying or breeding these dogs. And if it's important to me to own one, I will adopt one, so as to not monetarily support this inhumane system of animal cruelty. So what is this problem that I'm trying to get at exactly? It's what you can see right here. Your brachycephalic breed of dog has to fit the same amount of teeth and soft tissue into his skull as a dog with naturally evolved physiology. What that means is, like I said, the same amount of teeth, tongue, soft palate, sinus passage, nasal passage, nose tissue, and brain matter is crammed into a fraction of the amount of space that the dog has naturally evolved to house its head. These two skulls here are from dogs that were nearly the same weight in life. Yet you can see that the skull is dramatically smaller. It has to house the same thing. And what this results in is something called brachycephalic syndrome. According to the Canine Inherited Disorders Database in 2010, every single brachycephalic breed of dog suffers from these conditions to some degree, whether it be mildly, moderate, severely, or fatally. And as you can see from this list, this is a lot more than the snorting, snuffling, drooling that people normally associate with these particular breeds of dogs. Sleep apnea, many of these have folds in their airways that actually cause them to stop breathing while asleep. Furthermore, the teeth problems that I already alluded to. syringomyelia, where the brain does not fit in the skull, causing mental retardation or extreme pain and nervous twitches. But what I really want you guys to focus on is the last one, cardiac respiratory failure from chronic overwork. According to the AVMA, no dog should ever breathe through its mouth while at rest, or pant while at rest. Yet these dogs do so routinely. And furthermore, according to Dr. Janice Greb, PhD and veterinarian, the mere process of labored respiration for any reason, even without overheating, can cause progressive airway collapse that may eventually impair or even kill a dog. I want you to all take a deep breath in through your nose for a minute. Do you feel the way your lungs, your nasal passages expand? Now take these two fingers, and without pinching your nose closed, just push in the sides and do it again. Can you feel the way everything sucks in, the way it's so hard? Every dog breathes through its breathes through its nose naturally. Yet for a brachycephalic breed, that is how every single breath feels. So now that you know how unhealthy these dogs are, now that you understand this problem a little more, let's talk about what has caused this problem. And that is, of course, us, human beings. We have caused this problem because we think it's cute. Seems kind of obvious, but we willfully and knowingly breed these dogs because we like how it looks. According to Helen Fisher, anthropologist and PhD, human beings have actually evolved to find creatures that resemble human infants appealing, attractive. We love them. We want to care for them. And what's further, as reported by Elizabeth Marshall Thomas, PhD anthropologist and dog behaviorist, the brachycephalic breed of dog bears a much stronger resemblance to a human infant than does your dog with naturally evolved physiology. And you can see it. The round, forward-facing eyes, the squished nose, chubby cheeks, round face, all of those make people want to say it's cute. We are naturally attracted to these dogs. Yet what we don't realize, as reported by Mark Evans, DMV and Chief Veterinarian for the Royal Society for the Prevention of Cruelty to Animals, is that we have become completely and utterly desensitized to the fact that breeding these mutants, these deformed, diseased, disabled animals is either shocking or abnormal. But let me ask you this, does that look normal to you? Is that cute? Because this is a human being with the exact same congenital birth defect that causes a dog to have a flat face. And I think it's pretty obvious that we can all see that this is not cute, that this is not healthy, and that this is not an okay thing to willfully breed into animals to meet some kind of aesthetic ideal that we as human beings like. So now you know what the problem is, that these dogs are unhealthy. And you know that the cause is that we as human beings think it's cute and disregard the awful effects that it has on the actual animal's quality of life. So what can you do? Again, the answer is actually pretty simple. You can simply say, I am not going to buy this breed of dog. I am not going to encourage others to buy these dogs, nor will I support the breeding of these dogs. Because there is a very simple concept in business that says, if there is no demand for a product, then that product will cease to be supplied to the market. If all of you as individuals say, I am not going to buy a brachycephalic breed of dog, I'm not going to encourage others to do so, then these breeders who are willfully and knowingly doing this will be forced to reevaluate their practices because there will be no market for the deformed, sick puppies that they are forcing out on Americans every day. And if it's important to you to own one of these dogs, you still can. I myself owned a boxer for 5 years who was the absolute light of my world, but I adopted her. These are just a few of the literally thousands of brachycephalic breeds of dogs currently available for adoption in Los Angeles County alone. So you do not have to deny yourself a lifetime with one of these animals if you so desperately want to, because there are very many available. But I implore you all to say, I am not going to be a part of this problem of unhealthy animals. bred for some twisted human idea of beauty. I'm going to be part of the solution, and keep in mind the immortal words of Mahatma Gandhi. And remember, you have to be the change you wish to see in the world.